Hello everyone and welcome back to Strange Wonders. As always, I'm your host Mr.G. Today, we're talking about two creatures with crab in their name that aren't actually crabs because you can't trust animal names 95% of the time. But enough dilly-dally. Today, I am pleased to announce that for the first time in series history, we have a very special guest star. Yep, that's right. I have officially sunk to the point where I have to resort to guest stars. So, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Mr. Schaffrillas. What? Merp. Eric, what the heck? You told me you could get him. Yeah, about that, I didn't actually know how to get someone to collaborate with us, so I went down to this, store that sells, cheap YouTube lookalikes for, free. Besides, no one's gonna tell the difference.
What do you mean no one can tell the difference? This is like a slug of a crab shell, and it has claws coming out of its back.
But I got it for only like $20, and it included 4 other guys. You bought more? Okay, never mind, we don't have a special guest. Well, I mean we do. Introducing Slug Crab with pinchers growing out of his back. Yeah, that's a great guest star. Thanks a lot, Eric. You have truly done a wonderful thing. Let's just get into this video before I break something. Probably Eric's legs. Today we're talking about the hermit crabs, superfamily Paguroidae. Anyway, they're a group of crustaceans found throughout the world's oceans. Now, despite their name and appearance, they and the next animal we'll be talking about are not actually crabs. They're still crustaceans, but they're not related to crabs all that closely. Anyway, hermit crabs got their name for the unique way they protect themselves. See, the hermit crab only has armor in the front half of its body. Its tail is, completely soft. So, how does it protect itself, you might ask? Well, the hermit crab, instead of making its own back shell, will find the discarded shells of things like clams or snails, and it'll climb into them and use that as a shell, carrying it on its back. And as they grow, they keep having to swap out shells every time they outgrow their old one. Some hermit crabs will even use trash as shells, and some hermit crabs even attach anemones to their shells for protection. Well, that's hermit crabs for you, not much to say here. But there is one rather notable hermit crab species that deserves a spotlight. Introducing the coconut crab, Burgess latro, also known as robber crabs. These are the largest terrestrial invertebrates in the world. Living throughout coasts in the Indian and West Pacific Oceans, unlike other hermit crabs, only juveniles wear shells. Adults are fully naked. Well, I mean, they have a full exoskeleton unlike other hermit crabs, but you know what I mean. Also, you might have noticed the terrestrial part. That's right, coconut crabs are only aquatic when they're born. Once they become adults, they become full-time land creatures. In fact, after they become an adult, they are completely incapable of breathing underwater anymore. These guys are not picky eaters and will eat pretty much anything they can get their claws on. They got their name coconut crab because they've often been seen munching on coconuts and things like that. But like I said, they'll eat anything, including dead humans. In fact, some people think the famous missing pilot, Amelia Earhart, was never found because her body was eaten by the crabs. Oh yeah, also, groups of coconut crabs have been observed taking down seabirds. These crabs are also famous for their hoarding behavior, hence the name robber crab. They'll take pretty much anything that sparkles or gleams with them. So yeah, coconut crabs are pretty terrifying, all things considered. They're one of the few non-spider animals that kind of makes me shudder, and I can see why people are so afraid of them. Now that we got that out of the way, let's look at the cards. Alright, for the coconut crab card, it's pretty spotless until the back of the card, where it says that in order to breathe on land, they have to keep their gills wet. Coconut crab adults have basically vestigial gills. They breathe through lungs like most land animals, so that's a complete lie. 9 out of 10. Hermit crab's fine though, 10 out of 10. As for human relations, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of people are afraid of coconut crabs. And for a pretty good reason. They're huge, and they're said to have some of those powerful pinchers in the animal kingdom. And as I said, they might have eaten Amelia Earhart. So yeah, coconut crabs are pretty terrifying. As for hermit crabs, they're actually pretty popular, and they make pretty popular pets. So, there's that. Hermit crabs are a pretty popular sight in media, but when it comes to coconut crabs, the only pop culture example I can think of is Tamatoa from Disney's Moana, a giant coconut crab who covers himself in treasure. Well, that's all for this episode of Strange Wonders. Next time, we'll be switching over to something else. I'll see you guys next time, and I apologize if any of the images in this video freaked you out. That includes both the drawings and images of coconut crabs. Speaking of, what happened to... Did he just melt? Oh yeah, the guy at the store said not to expose these things to high humidity or else they'd melt. Well, goodbye everyone. I'm gonna go break Eric's legs for what he's done. See you next time. Goodbye.